What's up, everybody? Good evening, and thanks for joining us. As always, Divine Intervention, your hostess,
With
joined
the
by
mostest.
all bless, joined by All Elite Joker,
Hello.
and we have a special guest. In case you don't have eyeballs, EC is joining us here this evening. EC, tell the people what.
What's going on? A big week for me is comes to AEW. Of course, we all know I went to AEW Revolution this past Sunday, and then got to actually sat down and watched Dynamite for the first time live, and God knows probably since the last time I was on the show. So, lots to talk about, lots to discuss. Looking forward to doing it.
Awesome. Well, great to have you here. Were you able to get talk about Revolution at all with anybody?
I did talk about it on Around the Blocks with Mike Knox on Monday, 6:00 p.m. That was a good time. But, Mike and I aren't the big fans like you two are. So I wanted to talk about with some traditional AEW fans, I'll say.
Awesome. Well, you can catch a replay of Around the Block with Mike Knox on our YouTube channel. Check it out. All right, let's jump into Dynamite tonight. We were in Fort Myers, Florida. Started off with the Chris Jericho promo. Came out looking pretty sincere, in my opinion, or at least, sincere as Chris Jericho can be. He said that Eddie Kingston had given him one of the best matches in his career. You hear that, EC? One of the best matches in his career.
He's lying. He's trying to put him over.
Nobody
in their right mind would believe that. I'm sorry, Chris.
Eddie awakens something in him, calls for Eddie to come out so he can make good on his word and offer him the handshake he should have given him after his win on Sunday. Eddie comes out and cuts a pretty personal promo about some of his inner demons and just that he really looks up to Chris Jericho and just asking Chris what is missing inside of him, that everything that's going on right now is a Chris Jericho problem, not an Eddie Kingston problem, and that Chris Jericho is number one, but is that truly enough to fill the hole inside? Following that, we do eventually get the handshake, and then 2.0 come out for an interruption. Originally, PMP come out for the save, but in the end, Jericho turns and joins forces with 2.0 and basically beats the crap out of Proud and Powerful and Eddie Kingston. Should note also that Hager is involved with this as well. He's chosen to follow Chris Jericho down the dark side. Joker, what do you make of the Jericho Appreciation Society as they're going by now? Oh no.
There's no appreciation for Jericho over here. I don't know. I kind of wanted to see the Danielson dojo, and I mean, I don't know what this means, especially with what we cover later, as far as with William Regal and Moxley and Danielson. But yeah, I was legitimately surprised, I guess, considering I wasn't they had plenty of their differences in the past, being 2.0 and Daniel Garcia with Jericho and obviously Kingston. So everybody, I'm sure yourself included, were expecting them to, come to blows and be like, all right, now that we have this newfound respect for each other, we'll fight them together. And obviously that didn't happen. And as I think Hager staying with Jericho is obviously the right idea, because I don't know what else he would do if he wasn't with Jericho. Interested to see how this works out.
Yeah, when they came out to interrupt and everything, I was like, oh, okay, we're working backwards almost, in my opinion. We visited this already. So this was a very interesting spin on things. EC, there was a comment here, that's entertainment. It seems like Jericho is really leaning into his previous life as a sports entertainer here among the AEW crowd. What did you make of his promo?
Well, one thing I would definitely say is, you think about Chris Jericho in his heyday, he's always been that entertainer, right? He's been known as for entertainment, but he's also been known to put on some great matches and tremendous matches. So when I hear a comment like one of the best matches in my career against somebody like Eddie Kingston, you already know that's bullshit, right? He's entertaining. He filed a trademark for sports entertainer or some shit like that, right? So now he's getting into this thing. Jericho appreciation. All this is for entertainment. And at the twilight of his career, this is possibly and probably the way he should go about doing it, because he's not going to have those 5-star classics anymore. He can still put on a match.
Mm-hmm.
As you saw this past Sunday, he put on that match against Eddie Kingston, one of the greatest in his career. But still, at the same time, he needs to slow it down. He needs to make his body work, which is looking a lot better than it has about 2-3 months ago. Want to throw a shout out to him for that. But he needs to go ahead and go this rate. The problem I see is I know he thinks he can turn anything to gold like he's King Midas. 2.0 ain't that good. And that's just how I feel. And Danny Garcia is a toothpick. You need to get some stronger people in there in order to make this work. That's why they had to keep Jake Hager aboard. We the people.
Joker, any final comments about your boy Eddie Kingston before we move on?
Eddie Kingston's a wrestling god, and I don't care what EC thinks about him. There's a reason that people
could have sworn that the wrestling god was the TNA world champion.
Well,
Moose is the wrestling god.
Well,
Moose is something.
I wouldn't argue with him. But yeah, like I'm interested to see how this feud goes. But I mean, Eddie's over more than ever. And so, I mean, the Jericho rub legitimately worked in this situation. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and deny that, but I do feel like they put on an amazing match together. And yeah, shout out to Jericho once again, because yeah, he's looked, you say a couple of months, I feel like this is the best he's looked since he's been in AEW.
I would say since a couple years before he left WWE. Because he was already starting to deteriorate as far as body-wise. His last run or two, his last year or two in WWE, even though he still wasn't bad. And then, of course, we went to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He bulked up as far as weight. He explained why he did that. Some people don't believe him. I believe that's exactly what he was doing. I just think it was hard because I know myself. Sometimes it's hard to drop the weight once you do get it. So, and, you know, he's a prominent drinker. He's a partier. Man after my own heart, Chris Jericho, Y2J. Lionheart. But it was not one of your best matches of all time. Don't lie to yourself.
Moving on, we will agree to disagree here on.
I do that a lot with y'all.
You sure do. Yo, good to see you.
What's up, C?
All right, moving on to CM Punk's
See the Superior. Did y'all see Batman? Did y'all see the Batman this past weekend?
No. Everything going on with the pay-per-view and stuff. We had a lot going on. We're supposed to see it. The pay-per-view was a lot better than that damn movie. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, really? Well, we'll have to revisit that another time.
Yes, we will.
Once we can form an opinion on our.
Steve and I've been talking about this for like the last 48 hours. It is one.
See, I've heard good. We won't get into this. All right, CM Punk's promo next, talking about the young people in the locker room, kind of calling out the old CM Punk, and pretty much this is a bad move. He needs some time to detox from the ghosts, and he's basically going to be digging tacks and dry blood out of himself for the next 2 weeks. So don't expect to see CM Punk for a couple weeks on our television screens. Rightfully earned. He bled a lot on Sunday night. And basically his parting words are that CM Punk is dead. Long live CM Punk. Joker, how do you feel about this transition?
I mean, I feel like, of course, inevitably he's going to have to go whoop somebody up again. And that match was amazing on so many different levels, you know, of wrestling. The storytelling, the emotion that was brought into the match, obviously the visuals that went along with it, the tie-in with Wardlow. I'm very excited to see what happens with CM Punk next. I'm not sure what we're going to do with Punk next. I mean, I'm sure he's going to have to come somewhere more towards the title picture, you know, at this point. But it was really good to see that fire in his eyes again. And I think, you know, missing CM Punk because, I mean, he's been working pretty consistently since he's come back. So I think some time off will be good for him. both body and, of course, absence make the heart grow fonder.
I agree. And honestly, the fact that as the victor, he is the only one that we heard from this evening. No spoilers for the rest of the show, but we did not hear from MJF personally on this evening. So the fact that they are really selling the effects of this dog collar match, I think that it is good that CM Punk kind of got the final word here as far as what is next for him. So I guess we'll see him in a couple weeks. Moving on, we had a match with Dante Martin versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Title. To be honest, going into this particular episode, I don't think there were a lot of matches that were previously established. From what I understand, this one was announced only a couple of hours before the show. We didn't even know until it came up on our screen.
I think it's 2 hours before the show.
Yep, but nonetheless, apparently Dante Martin is the number 2 contender. He is 18 in 20 of his last matches. And I guess this was him kind of capping off his singles career as he transitions back into a tag team star now that his brother is back from injury. Not a whole lot going on here. I mean, obviously, pretty obvious that we were not getting a new world title switch here. But Dante looked great. He had a lot of high flying moves that really paired well with Hangman's power moves, a lot of power bombs and tough guy stuff. Cowboy shiznit, as JR likes to say. But Hangman coming away with the win here with a buckshot lariat. Tony doing an interview after the match and Hangman calling Dante back to the ring and pretty much just kind of, again, capping off Dante's solo career, that he had been put in a tough spot, had to really transition as he lost his brother due to injury, and just that he's super proud. All of this to say that Adam Cole's not impressed. Mr. Bebe makes his appearance and accuses Hangman of a fluke victory and is going to get his revenge next week with a 6-man match. He's hinting very heavily that the Young Bucks will probably be his tag team partners here. And Hangman can choose whoever he wants, but he's not going to stop until he is the new AEW World Champion. Joker, lot to unpack here.
Nah, EC, go ahead. I'm sure you have something to say about this.
Well,
I know Hangman's opinion. Yes, I know.
I'm not a fan of Hangman Page. I'm not. I think he impressed me on Sunday. I think they had a fantastic match. Shout out, I'm gonna do a little pop culture reference. There was a one show where Beyonce was on stage and she was almost tripped, and then she so smoothly made it look like it was a part of the dance move, but we all know it wasn't a dance move. So when I'm out there Revolution, I saw Adam Cole did not do he was about to. He did end up doing the boom to the hard side of the camera, but at first he went to the wrong side of the ring, and then he had to turn around, and you saw the shock on his face when he realized that he hit it well. But the reason I mention that is because he hit it so well, and that's what I feel like every time I see Adam Cole in a match. He hides the fact he's 110 pounds so well, and that he should not be able to beat anybody at all, right? Because he talks so well and so intimidating sometimes. I actually believe him when he tells me he's going to beat Hangman Page for that title. It is not even a title match next week. He's that good. And I always reference that even when he used to come out NXT, because he'll come out, once again, in all his 115 pounds of glory, he'll come out and he's talking to the camera and himself and around, and he say, I'm the best in the world, I'm going to beat him. And he just looks so real. Like, damn, little boy, good for you.
No, little boy.
That's why I feel like I've always been a fan of Adam Cole and why I enjoy his matches so much, because there's very few, because we all know I like bigger wrestlers. So, but I'm a huge fan of Adam Cole. When he wins world titles, it don't bother me because he's so freaking believable. And I see him and I see Adam Page. And I hear that, let's go Adam. And I'm like, y'all clearly want Adam Cole to win. Why y'all lying? Right? I will tell you this. It might not show up on camera. I don't know. I didn't watch it back. Adam Page is actually getting really, really heavily booed during this match. Really, really heavily booed.
Yeah,
I did
it
hear
did.
some booze, yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
it did take place in
heavy.
Florida. I
was
mean,
heavy.
Adam Cole. I mean, look, not taking anything away from Adam Cole because he is very over. Mr. Bebe himself, very over. But I mean, this match could not have played more into Hangman's loss here, as far as him being from Florida. Adam Cole being from
that did not
City.
help things all. But realistically speaking, they could have been Mississippi. It would have been the same reaction because Adam Cole has charisma. Adam Page does not. Adam Page can go in the ring, but he doesn't have the charisma. He's so bland. He's so white meat babyface. It's ridiculous, right? He's even facing Dante Martin. Come in here, guy. Hey, I'll face you again and shake your head and stuff like that. I'm putting me asleep.
What's wrong with the good guy champion?
You already
Elvis,
shook hands.
Good to see you.
Yeah, and we were happy you were late. Be late every time. Matter of fact, come show up after we end the show. It's like you shaking hands, and I'm like, you already shook hands at the beginning, right? We all know y'all both baby faces, but you're not helping your cause. You're already the most boring AEW World Champion of all time. You always have these people wanting this heel to beat you. This ain't a good look for you, bro. But you still want to be the white meat baby face. Okay, fine. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it.
White meat.
He's boring. He's boring. And you know he's boring. He is the most boring AEW World Champion of all time. I know he's only been around 3 years. The most boring AEW World Champion of all time. And that's going to be a catalyst when I talk about another boring champion or champions hint later during the show.
I think I know who you mean, but we'll get to that a little later. Joker, I'm sure
John, you didn't win the title, by the way. Ron kept it.
What?
Congratulations to Bad Guy Jack retaining the championship. At least it wasn't EC. EC, acknowledge Elvis, please.
Because I'm like the highlight of your life. That's what happens when the only thing that you've ever done correctly is fix a hot dog. Look, I'm not addressing you anymore. Hopefully no one puts your comments up. Nobody cares about you. I think you're the only person making comments, and I'd rather just not have anything. I'd rather just be us trio tonight. Okay. And have nobody make a comment. If only comment I get is Elvis, aren't you dead? All right. All right. Go ahead. What do we got?
Joker. Yeah. Any last thoughts here on
you trying to fight?
Dante Martin, Hangman.
What's good, man? What's up, man?
Pictures.
What's good, bro? A fellow Atlantean.
Oh, nice.
I enjoyed the Battle of the Atoms on Sunday. I thought it was very good. I agree. Adam Cole is one of the best on the mic, hands down. And I feel like it's because he full sends on everything, like Eddie Kingston.
Did you compare Eddie Kingston to Adam Page?
No, Adam Cole.
Oh, darn. I really thought that you were comparing boring to boring. I was about to give you your props for finally admitting it. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just admitting to amazing on the mic and amazing on the mic. This is good. I enjoyed this. I would take a rematch, honestly, because, those two in the ring were amazing together. I don't feel like Adam Page is a boring champion. And to compare him to all of the previous champions, come on now. You got Chris Jericho, who is Chris Jericho. Like, you've literally had pretty much some of the most charismatic wrestling figures that we have ever had.
And then you have but do you want to see MJF win the title?
I do.
Why? Because he's charismatic.
I want him to. I want Wardlow to murder him. Is what I want.
Would you rather see Wardlow win a championship?
Yeah.
Just saying.
We'll talk about that.
People are not world championship contenders.
I don't know if I don't believe that Hangman's not championship material. I will admit,
TNT Champion. You're right. He will make a good one.
Look. All I'm saying is that I will give you the benefit of the doubt as far as in comparison to literally every other champion we have had, he is the least exciting. He is not. I said exciting. I find him very entertaining. I thought that him doing something very humble and nice for Dante Martin and
that's
putting him
nice.
Okay, So what's wrong with being nice? You say that
Get
like
an
it's a
edge,
bad
you know what I'm
thing.
saying? See him slap. You know, it's wrestling. If I want to see nice, I'll watch ballet or something. You know, I'm watching wrestling. I need y'all to tear each other. Like AEW, hey, and I'll give AEW a compliment, man. They were really on their WWE shit with making sure that every time somebody bled, they removed the mat during the commercials or where the hell they were doing backstage.
Oh, yeah,
Great job, right?
sanitary.
Great job. Now, that being said, can't bleed in and shake hands. There's no crying in baseball. What's this, a ring of their own? Come on.
Oh, goodness gracious. EC here with the hot takes, everybody. Well, we still have a lot to cover this evening on our Dynamite recap and review. I will try to keep these two under wraps, and we'll be right back after these messages.
In the 21st century, a weapon will be invented like no other. This weapon will be powerful, versatile, and indestructible. It will have only one purpose: to return to the present and prevent the future. This weapon will be called the Terminator.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. My goodness, what a blast from the past.
Yeah,
I
Charmaine,
haven't seen that in forever.
thanks for joining us
that
this
movie
evening.
was made back in 1984, before some of y'all were born, I might add. The movie was made back in 1984, complete classic, UPRE, every Tuesday, franchise Tuesday. We're just finished Batman, and we ended with a sour note with the Batman. But now we're getting into the Terminator, and we're starting with Terminator 1. Can't wait for it. Hey, here's a fun fact. If the Terminator was sent back because they had to kill somebody here, and we had a John Connor, I'd rather that John Connor be Elvis, and I'll accept the Terminator as my feet.
Catch it on Tuesdays, everybody. Like, share, subscribe. You can catch us on all the platforms listed below. Moving on, we've got Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley versus JD Drake and Anthony Henry, who are the Workhorsemen. Is that
Yes.
that? It's a Ring of Honor tag team that we're going to be seeing a lot more.
I
of
thought they were
these
called the Job Squad. My bad. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Might as well.
doing
That's why I felt like
business
they didn't even have an entrance, right? People talk about it when WWE does it. They didn't have an entrance, but you know what? I was fine with it because they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They did not need an entrance. They needed to get their ass whipped.
They sure did. We won't linger on this too much because there's not too much of their match to go over. William Regal did come out with Bryan Danielson. Mox still coming in through the crowd as he usually does. Got some yes kicks in there. We got some thank you Regal chants. A lot of combo moves between the two. They are kind of performing as single stars together in the ring versus a true tag team, but we'll see how that morphs over time. But pretty much as expected, Mox and Danielson get the victory. Tony Schiavone in the ring again with an interview with William Regal. Apparently 29 years apart as far as the last time they were able to be in the ring and be in the business together at the same time in the same company. Apparently William Regal's the fucking man. He's kind of a charismatic dude. I didn't realize he was so suave. But he was finally able to thank Tony Schiavone properly. Apparently he is one of the first people in the business who really gave him the time of day. I liked this. It ran a little long in my opinion. Joker, your thoughts?
No, same. Very heartfelt speech. It was a very nice speech. But yeah, I feel like it ran a little long. And I have so many questions at this point because, I'm wondering what happened to our dojo idea. Is that still a thing, or is Moxley and Danielson just going to go on a tear for a while first, or is it not happening anymore? I have questions as far as that's concerned. Not going to sit here and lie. Danielson and Moxley as a tag team is amazing. For me, it reminds me of when Hangman and Kenny were tag team champions. And it was like, oh, okay, this will be a quick little thing. And then they wound up being the champions for a year. Mm-hmm. So, AEW has a way of, I trust the process.
Okay, that's a fair answer. EC, Regal called Danielson the perfect wrestler, everything that he couldn't be. Do you agree?
I agree with the second part. Everything he couldn't be, I'm pretty sure that's the way he wanted to be. As far as Daniel Bryan being the perfect wrestler, hell no. The perfect wrestler, in my opinion, is Drew McIntyre or Cesaro.
Oof.
Those are the two
Drew
people
McIntyre.
I always because a perfect wrestler to me has to have charisma, and a perfect person has to have. I hate to go there. Has to have the looks, the physicality. Daniel Bryan is a very great specimen. However, he's still not the ideal person you would think of as a wrestler. Still one of my favorites. Still can go in the ring with anybody. But Drew McIntyre is like, you have the clay. He's going to look like Drew McIntyre to me. Or Cesaro. But that's not taking away from Daniel Bryan. I like the dojo idea that Joker talks about a few times. The only situation I have is I would like a okay, finally, Elvis, you're making some sense. Okay, maybe I don't want you to die. But it's like, so I really would like an idea of a main event mafia type stable in AEW consisting of Dean Ambrose and Daniel Bryan. Right.
Okay.
I just think it would be the biggest heel heat I've heard outside of an MJF last year was when Daniel Bryan even mentioned, and he's always going to be Daniel Bryan to me. John Moxley, I'm just being stubborn. But he always will be Daniel Bryan to me, even though he's Bryan Danielson first, okay? So when Daniel Bryan mentioned WrestleMania, right? If they can get all ex-WWE talent, only 5 of them or something like that, ex-WWE talent in there, and they just have studing their nose up at everybody and just try and take all the shots and stuff like that, I think that will draw so much heat, and I think that actually might get them to the point where they want to be a real serious contender. Okay, understand what I mean by serious contender? I'm not saying they're not number 2 because they are number 2, but I'm talking about a real serious contender where we'll get a lot more eyes outside of people who just say, it's not WWE, I'm not watching it. I think that's the way to go. So I hope, what's going on, Vic?
What's going on, Vic?
So I hope that's this is just the beginning of a William Regal-led faction like that. It's like a mix between MEM and a mix between NWO, and I think it will be very, very, very good. Another person you want to throw in there to possibly make it good, because I don't know what the hell he's doing right now, but if he don't make an appearance soon, people will forget about him. It's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, very interested to know where he's going to turn up. I know that there was a lot of speculation when he first exited AEW about him entering WWE, but as we
Never believe that.
as we approach, it didn't make sense to me personally, given everything that they stood on as they began, started AEW in the first place. Not pitting one against the other. Don't flame us in the comments, but obviously they wanted an alternative, and it seemed he sure does. They wanted to provide an alternative, and it wouldn't make sense to then to me it was it really all about the money? Who knows? So. Oh no, Elvis, you are asking for trouble, my friend. I won't even put that up there because we don't talk about the queen like that. We don't talk about the goddess like that.
I think Cody Rhodes is the biggest loss AEW possibly can have if it's legit, simply because of the fact that I don't think AEW exists. And I said this when they were booing him every single week, and I didn't expect him to go at all. AEW would not be where it is if you put one person outside Tony Khan's bank account, of course. One person responsible for the success AEW has had, it is Cody Rhodes, bar none. Currently leaving and going possibly to WWE will be a big hit. Even with all the ex-WWE stars AEW brings in every single Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, it will be the biggest hit they could have.
Quick question for you before we move on to the next promo segment here. We didn't get a chance to talk about it with you when the news broke, but with Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor and Cody wanting a more managerial or a shot calling position, do you think he could transition into a more managerial role for Ring of Honor versus getting back in the ring?
Absolutely not. They're going to use a Ring of Honor as a NXT or possibly a little bit lighter than NXT.
Well, no, I know, but he has a huge respect for Triple H and what he did with NXT, and almost, he seems to be following in Triple H's footsteps in a way.
But he wants to do it with he wants to do it with AEW. He doesn't want to do it with Ring of Honor. He doesn't want to do it with the leftovers, especially since he built AEW so much as what he has done. There's no reason for him to take that step back when he hasn't done everything he wanted to do in AEW. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I'm going to take the motion right now and let you run the shit that I helped build, because all you did was sign the paychecks, Turner. All you did was sign the paychecks. I'm the one that brought these superstars on. I'm the one that said we should do it this way, we should do it this way. I'm the one that wouldn't negotiate the deals. I was legit face of AEW for all of media. Okay? I was the one that had a reality show. I was the one that was on Go Big Show. I was the one doing the talk shows. That was me. That wasn't even Chris Jericho, who was arguably the most popular wrestler in AEW. Right?
That's true.
After maybe Big Show or something, I don't know. But so I was the one that did that shit. people still don't even know who the fuck you are, right? And that's real. Outside of a real wrestling fan, people do not know Tony Khan. They know his father, the Jacksonville Jaguars owner, and not even many people know him. But they don't know who you are. They know me, right? So why would I take a step back from the stuff that I helped create to run this secondary promotion because you decided you were bored and you wanted to buy this promotion that realistically you helped put out of business?
It's a very interesting take, and honestly, a lot of opinions going on these days about Cody.
Yeah, no. This question. They definitely want to sign Cody. Just to stick it to AEW, they definitely want to sign Cody. And they'll give him money. They won't give him the money he's asking for if it's the figure that's out there is true. They're not giving him that, but they'll give him some money. And Seth Rollins still does need an opponent for WrestleMania, and I don't see who it's going to be. So it might be done. I don't know. I can't speculate anymore.
Well, as we say over here, all we can do is wait and see. Joker next, we had a Dark Order promo, kind of just questioning here. Oh, yes, I agree too. Dark Order being questioned about their relationship with Hangman. Hangman makes an appearance and basically apologizes for last week. He kind of got out of hand. But as they're asking who he's going to pick as his tag team partners for next week, he already kind of tells them that he's picked Jurassic Express. Awkward. Joker, is this relationship falling apart finally, or?
I mean, it seems like it is. But I mean, for being honest, if the tag team champions come to you and like, hey, you want us as partners for a tag team match? I'm going to say yes, regardless of who my friends are, because the tag team champions are asking me to be, as my tag team. So that, I don't know. And it's very conflicting because the Dark Order were such an integral part of the Hangman story and Hangman process as far as him ascending to his championship glory. So I don't know how I feel about it. It's again, I'm going to sit here and trust the process because that's what I do. But yeah, I don't really know.
Plus, Hangman has always kind of struck me as the lone cowboy type. If it is time for him to truly lose the championship, I could also see him kind of going off and maybe riding off into the sunset for a little while, kind of detaching himself from everybody, because even the Young Bucks aren't getting involved with him, and we'll touch on that here in just a moment. Next up, we had a match, kind of an impromptu match, it seems. They put it together because they said that the title match did not go the full 60 minutes. So it was Pac with Evil Alex and Penta Oscuro versus Wheeler Yuta, and the entirety of Best Friends were at ringside, including Danhausen. Joker, your absolute favorite. Had some Danhausen chants. Not a whole lot to break down here. I mean, Pac is an amazing wrestler. Wheeler Yuta is also amazing. But for whatever reason, he's just not really connecting with the audience.
Pants, man.
Avalanche Brainbuster into the Brutalizer for the win. You got to change this man's pants, because he's a very good wrestler, and I wish that he was presenting himself in a different way to be taken a little more seriously.
I'm telling you, the dojo would have fixed all of that. I'm saying to take Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Lee Moriarty, and you put them in the dojo, and you give them all edge, and it would have been amazing. But aside from that, good match. You can't go wrong with Yuta and Pac. I mean, anything Pac touches is just, it's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be fast. It's going to be very technical, and it's going to be very snappy. And Wheeler Yuta complements that very well. I wish the crowd would get more behind Wheeler Yuta, but I don't know. Maybe it's his pants. I don't know. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. That and him hanging out with Best Friends. Like, nothing against Best Friends, because I do enjoy Best Friends. Like, Chuck Taylor and Trent are absolutely outstanding. Trent is an underrated talent, personally. The man does amazing work in the ring, and his character work is actually quite good too, but I don't feel like he gets to shine the way I wish he did. But having said that, yeah, I don't know. I wish Wheeler Yuta would. I want the dojo so bad. That's just really what it comes down to. I really want that dojo so bad, and because I feel like it could fix Wheeler Yuta. Put the man in like some, I don't know, like put him in the same pants as Moxley. Like, give Moxley the ones that are too nice, and let him rough them up until they're just ready to rip somebody's head off. Because if you take Wheeler Yuta's ability in the ring and give it some edge and some more flair, I really feel like he could connect with the crowd, especially the AEW crowd. Because if we're being honest, the AEW crowd doesn't tend to like gravitate towards the super nice guy, types. There's a few exceptions, obviously, but like as far as that like super clean cut, super nice guy thing, no, most people don't. The crowd doesn't. It doesn't resonate with the crowd.
I agree.
They like violence, and he does not provide this. But you know who does? Pac. Pac does.
EC, how do you feel about Penta Oscuro and this new side of him after being misted by the House of Black?
There's a few things I want to address. First of all, the only reason I come to Dark Order, because you saw the last couple of weeks, you saw the Revolution, him pushing Dark Order away when they try to come save his ass. They're doing the split of the breakup to eventually lead to him losing the championship. It's going to be because of the new leader, which is going to be Bray Wyatt, coming up sometime in the next month. Now, that's that. I'm fine with Penta. I'm fine with any incarnation he does because Penta's amazing. He's the man. I love him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers at AEW.
Damn right.
I need to ask Joker a question. You said you want to have this dojo. Who do you want in this dojo?
Oh, no.
Yuta, Moriarty, and Garcia. And if I could throw other people in there, I'd put Dante in there too. Okay,
everybody but Dante Martin. I completely agree with you. Let's put Moriarty in there. Let's put Yuta in there. You said Wheeler, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's put them all in there, right? I agree with Joker. And I want to say that, and this might be a commercial later, because I want everybody to see, because I don't really agree with him a lot of times, because this man likes Eddie Kingston, right? I agree with
recorded
Joker.
People.
You put these three people, and you put them in the dojo, and then you take a match, you light that bitch on fire, because none of them have entertainment value, none of them have charisma, and they don't need to be on screen. That's why they don't get over, because they're not entertaining. Yuta is a tremendous talent. He impressed me. But he's not going to get any kind of pop, whether it be WWE or even midway AEW, because he doesn't have charisma. If you take that entire faction and Orange Cassidy gets legit hurt, and they have to take him out where he can't even put his hands in his pockets, 3 seconds of silence is how the AEW arena will be. That is the problem. The dojo is not going to fix them. This end of contract is going to fix them. When Tony Khan says, I don't think the wrestling's that good, guys. That's the best way to fix those people. And that's my little 2 cents when it comes to that.
Damn. Well, there have been some surprises. I was surprised that they re-signed Brian Cage's contract for another couple years. Yes,
I was surprised too, but that was just to keep him away from World Wrestling Entertainment. That's all it was, because he's a World Wrestling Entertainment guy. That's the only reason that they kept him.
Well,
they don't even know what to do with him.
Hopefully we will see him sooner rather than later. It has been quite some time.
Agreed.
Moving on to the next promo segment, we had a revisitation of the Adam Cole situation around the title. He had the Young Bucks, Red Dragon in the back, talking about how everything sucked on Sunday. Nobody was able to pull it out in the end. Nobody won. But who should he choose for his 6-man tag on? Was it Rampage? Or it's next week, right?
No, it's on Dynamite next week.
Basically, he wants the Young Bucks to tag, and they're like, no, we told you we're not doing anything Hangman related. And he basically was like, well, I wasn't going to pick you anyway. I picked Red Dragon, and you guys are self-centered assholes. You see, pretty clear that Mr. Bebe wanted the Young Bucks. It was trying to bait the Young Bucks into.
It should have been the Young Bucks. It should have been reluctantly of the Young Bucks, but now we'll say it again. Where I feel like we've seen this match again before. Not that I have a problem with repeat matches. I watch WWE for fucking sakes, but it's like, why? I don't know. This did not seem interesting to me, and I'm not looking forward to this match next week. Like I've seen enough, and maybe it's because I like Undisputed Era, but I've seen them. I've watched them for the last 17,000 years. You know what I'm saying? We saw a commercial earlier. We're going to talk about Terminator, right? You maybe didn't see the commercial. I can replay it again. You'll see Adam Cole, baby, in the background, along with Kyle O'Reilly doing this, because it's been around forever, right? And the only thing that I need to see as a payoff is to see Red Dragon. Well, let's call him what it is. Undisputed Era versus Kenny Omega, the Elite. Whatever. That's all. That's the payoff, right? So any incarnation you're trying to give me right now is not going to work because I already know where it's going to lead. Let me get it, right? But you want to build up to whoever because we're 2 months away from Double or Nothing, which odds are I'm going to be there for. But we're 2 months away from Double or Nothing, and we need time to build up who Adam Page. I think that's his name. I don't know. I fall asleep by turning the page. But we need to find somebody to face him. Because we have a lot of people, but we're not exactly sure who he wants. I'm telling you, that's what's going on right now. They have some people in mind, but they're not 100% sure which direction they want to go right now. So they're stalling. And it's just obvious. And I think if everything with Dynamite, and I thought Dynamite was not a bad episode tonight, but everything that's going on with Dynamite tonight, I thought this was one of the weakest things about it, simply because the fact that it's just like, really, this is the best you have? Really? After Adam Cole gave me that passionate, not Adam Cole, was it Adam Cole? Yeah, Adam Cole, baby. Gave me that passionate speech earlier. Red Dragon again, this inner turmoil again, them telling the cameraman to shut up again. Okay, let's move it. Let's keep it moving.
I kind of agree. I think that it should have been a very reluctant Young Bucks joining the six-man tag to kind of keep the intrigue going. Joker, your thoughts on Red Dragon and Young Bucks being self-centered assholes?
No, pretty much same. Just echo you guys' opinion. I mean, it would have been more interesting if it were the Young Bucks. I'm sure it's going to lead to something since it wasn't the Young Bucks, and they, of course, were like, they made sure to say on camera, hey, we already told you we're not doing stuff that involves Paige, So I'm sure there's something's going to come of that, but yeah, I don't, especially with, it doesn't seem like, we're not even sure if Kenny's going to be able to make it back in time for Double or Nothing.
Correct.
At this point,
And I think that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, you can always come back to this. Like, you can have them split up. And then whenever Kenny comes back, I'm like, all right, come on, guys, we're going to go whoop their asses. It's Kenny Omega. Everybody's going to be cheering regardless. Whether it's with the, whether
absence
it's a Double
makes
or
the heart
Nothing.
grow fonder.
Exactly.
He was tired of Kenny Omega for a while toward his end of the run. But now people are waiting for him to return, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's actually taking the time that he needs to fully recover his body, because I don't know if you read that interview with him, but like his body was just broken. Like he couldn't fire off certain muscle groups and things at will, even though the man's a walking muscle. He'd overcompensated and just completely torn down his body and had just vertigo, and he was a shell of his former self. And still putting on, you're right, and still putting on 4-star matches.
He needs to take all the time he needs and realize, I mean, please understand, I say this with all the respect in the world. The company does not need him, right? They have plenty of star power. They need him healthy, not coming back at 75 or 8% when they have the capability of having him resting until he can come back as close to 100% as possible.
Agreed.
I mean, for having freaking sakes, for the last month and a half, I swear, every damn show, somebody new it's popped up on air.
Well, we'll be getting to one more person here that just popped up on air shortly.
Look at this guy.
Yep. I was going to say, Victor, with the fresh news. Definitely a hot take here. Adam Page versus Miro for the title. We won't get too into that because we could talk hours about who should be the next AEW World Champion, but Miro is sorely missed from our TV screens. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here again for the Dynamite recap and review. We'll be right back after these messages.
In the 21st century, a weapon will be invented like no other. This weapon will be powerful, versatile.
These are my coworkers.
Jobs, please.
What if somebody calls the cops?
And says what? I spent $5,000 at a strip club. Send help. Hammer time. I was born to flex. Diamonds on my neck. I like boarding jets. I like more than sex. But nothing in this world. I like more than sex. We didn't do anything.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. We are going to keep
Divine Intervention wanted to see Undisputed Era in that Terminator commercial because she played it again.
I have never seen that movie before.
I saw it for the first time today.
Look, man, I was just looking for the Undisputed Era, like you said.
Yeah, I can tell. They were there. They helped build the machine.
Oh. All right, moving on. We've got FTR's promo, basically trying to find out what's next for them. And they made the decision right there and then that they wanted to revisit the Young Bucks and Red Dragon. They wanted a little revenge. Tully interrupts. He's pretty pissed off. He says, when you brought me in, it was all about the championships, the gold. And he's not in it. That's what he's here for, is to win championships. That's what's important in AEW. And he's 100% correct. And Tully's been fired. Joker? Tully's been fired.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming on this evening. Especially because, they worshiped the ground that the man stood on for the longest. So this was quite a surprise for me. I'm interested to see what happens next. I really need them to fight the Briscoes. Is what I need.
You think Tully gets some time off? Because he's not really associated with Spears anymore either. So maybe he just needs a couple weeks off the road.
Part of me wants him to go away for a little while and then come pop back up with the Briscoes.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Like, okay, well, you guys have lost sight of what, is important here. I'm bringing in somebody who knows what's up, the champions. Them boys.
Indeed. Well, we'll have to see. It seems like he, assuming with him being fired from FTR's side, he's also no longer part of the Pinnacle. So we'll have to see.
Is that still around?
Yeah, technically it still is. But we'll see.
No.
We'll have to see where he turns up next. All right, the AHFO had their emergency town meeting. Matt Hardy is pretty upset that he's about to be fired from the company that he started.
That's right, Cody Rhodes. You tell him.
Essentially wants to make things right, especially by Private Party, who he calls his sons. And they hold a vote to see if Matt Hardy is going to be ejected from the AHFO. And Private Party does, I say betray, but up till this point, Matt Hardy's kind of been acting like a total asshole to them. He did try to play it off by, when I put on a suit, it makes me into a giant douche. But I don't know if that's enough. Obviously what happens next is enough to smooth over any bumps here. But I don't know. In my opinion, that excuse is kind of paper thin. But they do betray him. They give the thumbs down and they kick Matt Hardy officially out of the AHFO and then proceed to beat the crap out of him. Personally, I thought it was kind of funny when Darby and Sting came out because you could tell that the crowd was a little deflated. They were definitely looking for somebody else, but they were not disappointed. Shortly after, Jeff Hardy did make his debut, and he's looking really good. Joker, how was it revisiting your childhood and the Swanton Bomb?
Oh, I was obviously very happy to see Jeff. I mean, we all knew Jeff was coming. He told us as such. But having said that, I feel like they did this as well-timed as humanly possible. I feel like the Hardy family office has gotten a little bit of a rejuvenation especially after that tornado match. Andrade's been on a tear in his last couple of weeks, and so I feel like it was the right time. I feel like it worked out properly. And yeah, just excited to see what the Hardy Boys, because I mean, we talked about it a little bit during the show. Like, just having the Hardys in AEW just opened up so many, like, Hardys versus the Acclaimed, Hardys versus the Young Bucks, Hardys versus Private Party, Hardys versus the Ass Boys. Who cares? Like, you can put them with literally any tag team, including Jurassic Express, Proud and Powerful, the Lucha Brothers. Like, there's so many great tag teams here that I'm sure have been influenced in some way or another. I mean, some of which we know were influenced, but like all of these people, I'm sure, have been influenced in some way or another by the Hardys. And I can't wait to see this, I'm assuming, farewell tour from the Hardys in AEW.
EC, your thoughts on Jeff Hardy and AEW All Elite?
One more thing. That stare down that Darby and had with Jeff is a dream that I have been having since seeing Darby Allin the first time. I've been wanting to see Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy for a long time now. And I'm
two daredevils going
Oh
at
my
it.
God. Like, I'm so excited for that match. I need that match. Elvis actually has another point that I have. I need redemption for this. And for those of you who don't know, when Jeff was having a lot of his addiction issues and probably the height of his addiction issues, he came out during a TNA, what was that, Hard to Kill? No.
Victory Road.
Victory Road, thank you. The pay-per-view, and he was just so out of it that Sting basically just rolled him up and ended the match. He didn't even know what happened at the end. Like, it was terrible. So, yeah, all of that needs to happen, and I'm very excited. Okay, EC, go ahead.
Here's why I'm not a fan of this segment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
one more thing. I need to.
ahead.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine. So you have Matt Hardy in there, and he looks like he's got his second win, because he was looking a little deflated for me for a while at AEW. He was trying to put on a brave face, but I can say he was a little deflated.
Mm-hmm.
They had a pretty good tornado match at Revolution. I was surprised.
Yep.
But he's standing there with two twigs, private party, and then two people who apparently have no right to vote, like they're women in the 1940s before, or black people in the 19th century. And then you have this guy who I have no idea why you were here in life, like you replaced Chavo for him, but okay. And then Andrade, who's looking in the best shape I've ever seen him, right? Talking better English than ever.
Phenomenal.
Still terrible English, but still talking better English than ever. And then they start attacking Matt Hardy. Oh, okay, I know where this is going. Out comes somebody who makes Private Party look like the Legion of Doom, and then also Sting, who granted he's going to tables, but he's still north of 60. And I'm thinking, okay, who else they're going to bring out, because there's 6 guys in the ring. I don't know if they know how to do math. Maybe Sting forgot. I don't know. And they walk out there, and then they thinking they're going to beat up 6 men. And guess what? The numbers game takes a hold of them. Out comes Jeff Hardy looking happy, like, hey, cheers again. Okay, cool. Like that. I like the fact Jeff Hardy's happy. I don't like the way he went down with him leaving. I'm not there. I don't have enough information. You have one side, you have the other side, and you have the truth. Did he do it on purpose? I don't know. Did WWE jump the gun? I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate that much more. I don't have enough information to make an educated guess. However it happened, glad he's okay. Looks like he's in good shape. Glad he's okay. Glad he's reunited with Matt. My problem is I've seen enough of them reuniting in my tenure of watching wrestling, okay, between 2006 to now, all right, between WWE and Ring of Honor and TNA and WWE again and SmackDown again and now AEW. How they get the music, Bad Guy Jack says it's generic music. Okay, I guess. I never knew that, okay? Their farewell time should only be in WWE. I'm sorry, it should not be AEW. I know they want to have their dream matches, but they've already had their matches many a time with the Young Bucks. Before they went back to WWE, they had one last match with the Young Bucks. So they've already had it. The Briscoes, yeah, that's your smart money. As a matter of fact, the Briscoes is obviously smart money because I feel like, sorry, Joker, I feel like they went in a different direction with who dumped their manager? I forgot. The Revival.
FCR.
Yeah, they suck. So they dumped their manager, the Revival. And Revival and the Briscoes were the ones that were supposed to have the program, but now it looks like it's shifting over to Hardys because that's all I see. Hardys and Briscoes back and forth on YouTube. Because the Hardys are the name. The Hardys are the popular team. Rival, well, FTR. I feel like, once again, even though, if I was a promoter, I would do the same shit, right? So understand what I'm saying when I say this, right? But I feel like, once again, we're losing track of certain people that we have in the organization that we are building up because somebody else more popular came into the company, even if he's 45 years old, right? And I have a problem with that. FTR is taking a back seat. Granted, I'm not a fan of FTR, right? But FTR is taking a back seat because there are so many fucking tag teams in AEW. And right now, your tag team champions, spoiler alert, are Jurassic Express, right? But you have Red Dragon in there. You have the Young Sucks in there. You have possibly Danielson and Moxley in there. Now you got the Hardys back in there. They mentioned Sting and Darby Allin as a fucking tag team. I didn't know they were a tag team. I thought Sting was just a manager and decided to wrestle and go through tables a few times. You have a large tag team division, and you don't know what to do with it. And you have these uncharismatic, because the only reason the company got him over is because one's Luke Perry's son, the other does a lot of choke slams, and then they had some music that the little nerds that are virgins could do this to. Okay, so I just don't understand it. The mind boggles. The mind boggles, bro and sis. The mind boggles, sis and bro.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm interested to see him in a match because I always said when he was in WWE, it always looked like he was hurt. Now, he came out there, he looked like he was fine, but he ain't do shit for a couple minutes. But when he did that swanton, I saw him holding his little back like, but I'm feeling the adrenaline. We'll see in a match.
Yeah,
because he always looked like he was hurt in WWE. I wanted him to retire. I really do.
I don't know how many matches we will actually get out of the Hardys. I don't know if you play more on the nostalgia factor or, you can certainly do that without having to take up the time for other tag teams. Because you're right, it is very saturated in the tag team division. I think that with the introduction potentially
I'm surprised by that.
I think they own No More Words, but
they don't own this, and this surprises me because WWE usually doesn't let shit like that slip.
I don't know. A couple of contracts lately, they've been letting some shit go flying.
You said something about dead weight. I'll hit the All Elite Joker because I made this.
All right, now. You ain't finna say dead weight like Cesaro is some dead weight when you were just singing his praises 5 minutes ago. All right, Cesaro is not dead weight. I am sorry. Danielson is not dead weight. I am sorry. Cole is not dead weight. No.
We got to say it right. Bryan Danielson left on his own fruition because he didn't want to be restricted by WWE because he's injured. Okay. Cesaro left because he wanted to be put in a better position that he was going to be put in and more money, and Vince wasn't having it because he's not worth it. And what I mean by he's not worth it, in Vince's eyes, he's not worth it. I disagree. I've been saying I've been wanting Cesaro to leave for a while. I was fine with that decision. I think he's shining. Anywhere else, he's a world champion. Put him in Impact. Put him in MLW. World champion. Easily. Right? And then who else did you say? You said Adam Cole, baby, left for pussy.
Also, they kind of wanted him to be Keith Lee's manager.
That's a rumor.
Okay.
But I told you already, Adam Cole is 110 pounds soaking wet.
I was about to say Vince would not have pushed. I was about to say we all know Vince would not have pushed Adam Cole to his actual.
But could you see why? We all know. Do you really think he's selling out of WrestleMania?
I could see Adam Cole selling out of WrestleMania. Yes.
How do you sell out of WrestleMania?
By being extremely charismatic and amazing in the ring.
False. You sell out of WrestleMania by bringing in fans who don't normally watch wrestling. Not just wrestling fans. And Adam Cole is not that type of character. He's entertaining to me because I'm a wrestling fan. But if I brought in, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you, I went with my best friend. He came from out of town. And I was like, hey, you want to go AEW? He's like, yeah, sure. They got Sting, right? Okay, cool. So he went in there, right? He's one of those. I used to watch wrestling back on The Rock and stuff. He used to watch wrestling about 6 years ago. So he knew of Adam Cole, but he watched it and he fell asleep. And I shared that in the chat. But, you saw it, All Elite Joker, because you check it at the end of the day. So he saw the chat. He fell asleep during one of the matches, and then he woke up for what match? He woke up for Daniel Bryan versus Jon Moxley. He stood up when William Regal came out. When Adam Cole versus Adam Page happened, I swear to God, he looked at me and said, "So this is your main event." That's what I'm trying to say. If you're not a wrestling fan like the three of us, you're not looking at Adam Cole and paying tickets to see him. You're not. But you're going to look at, as much as us wrestling fans get annoyed by it, but we're still going to buy a ticket regardless. But that other guy will buy a ticket for Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Because they know Brock Lesnar and they see a big meaty-ass guy as opposed to a 110-pound person who looks like he's only intimidating to private party. But Adam Cole can sell out of Revolution because he did.
And I can't argue with the fact that AEW is a wrestler's promotion. It is a wrestling fans promotion.
Give it 5 years, though. I think it's going to change. I think it's already starting to change. And that might be why Tony Khan is starting to take a little bit more reins over it, because he needs to see more return of his investment. because he's just been out there spending money. I'm telling you, watch. He's made a lot of changes. Listen to what Chavo Guerrero said in his little interview he had. I'm telling you, some things are probably about to change. He might not want to admit it.
No. We've talked about it amongst ourselves.
He might not want to admit it.
Well,
he might not want it.
We've certainly talked about it amongst ourselves that, things have been.
$1.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a business, and you do have to sell out the pay-per-views. You do have to push the tickets. So, while I think that
which they do well,
I think that the show will always have the underbelly of a wrestling fans promotion. But yeah, I think that some changes really are coming.
Definitely some changes. TNA tried to do it too, but unfortunately, I also say that I think that was part of TNA's downfall.
Well, we will just have to wait and see for sure. Everything looks good on the horizon so far, especially Tony was spending all this damn money, bringing in all these superstars.
Hey,
all right.
Spend it while you got it. You spend it while you got it. You spend it while you got it.
Yep. Can't take it with you. Cannot take it with you. All right. We're going to run through some promos really quick here. I'm going to do them a little out of order because one is a bit longer than the rest. Swerve Scott Strickland made his debut on the pay-per-view for anybody who missed it. He was interrupted during his interview by Tony Nese and his tiny knees. I
forgot he was still the company. I'm sorry. I saw him. I was like, oh my God, he's still here.
He sure is.
Oh my God. And then not only are they still here, they had to say, what ex-WWE wrestler can we put you up against? And then not only did they do it, I'm sorry, Divine, but then not only did they do it, then they referenced the fact that he used to wrestle on 205 Live. Like, Come on, kid. Come on. Do better.
Well, whose house is it? It's Swerve's house.
Swerve's house, but he was better to go to Impact Wrestling. I don't agree with him going to AEW.
Joker, your thoughts on this match between him and Tony Nese on Friday Night Rampage?
I'm very excited for it. That is all.
I think it's going to be amazing.
They've always had good matches.
Mostly because of Swerve. Right. I was going to say, they've had great matches, and then Swerve is amazing. Like, I mean, I'm very excited to see what Swerve provides here. I could see Swerve as a TNT champion. Yeah. Don't give me that face.
I mean, if they want to play it as the Village Bicycle, then sure. But I mean, otherwise, they just have too much talent, man. I mean, we just saw earlier somebody said Miro's coming back. He's going to get the TNT title. We already know what happened at the end of the show. I mean, there's just, I don't know, man. I don't think this is a good move, Swerve. I think he should have went to Impact. I really do. Or back to MLW. If he wanted to be a bigger star. And when I mean bigger star, I mean just have a better position. Because he was sandwiched in between who debuted last Wednesday? Oh, Buddy Matthews. Okay.
Well, he didn't debut. It was his in-ring debut.
So who debuted last week?
If you give me a second, I
will. No. It was Christopher Daniels. He came back after like a year. Yeah. So Christopher Daniels, and then before that was Buddy Matthews. Before that was Keith Lee, and then that was Jeff Hardy. It's just like you're going to get lost in the shuffle, man. And every time somebody debuts, they end up with a backstage segment that gets interrupted. And I'm glad Swerve brought that to their attention. Like, I was wondering who's going to be the first one to interrupt me backstage. Hey, before you talk about the next promo, though, can I play this?
Shut up before I kick you in the face again. Nobody gives a damn about that karate shit.
I loved it. I'm going to keep that there.
Oh my gosh, Jade is so amazing. All right, we are going to skip over the next one for just a moment because it is a little longer and just touch on the Keith Lee promo. Essentially, QT Marshall approaches him with a proposition. The factory has his back against Team Taz, but Keith says he's got a rather large back, and he's good. Your thoughts on, I mean, obviously Keith Lee was poised to feud with Team Taz, but now it almost seems like he is also got to keep his head on a swivel against the factory. Joker, a lot of people lining up for a slice of Keith Lee.
Well, he's got a big back, so everybody's trying to jump on it, I want to watch him fight Hobbs. The little glimpse of that I got at the ladder match was more than enough. I hope Orange Cassidy is okay, considering he got thrown into the next state. Chris, you were there. How did that look?
Oh, it looked nasty. It looked disgusting.
Well, I
It
mean,
was
considering the
nasty.
man came out in a sling today, I'm not surprised.
He overthrew him completely. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
anytime Keith Lee does that throw move anyway, it always looks dangerous. But I mean, they're pretty well protected when they do it anyway. But it still always looks dangerous. But he overshot both of them. But I was like, oh, that just not.
Right,
Oh,
like
my God.
I was just like, the fact that this man is that strong that he legitimately overshot. Because I mean, it wasn't even like they were that close to the ring. Like
they were at the edge of the ramp, so to
Yeah,
speak.
they were-
There's already
exactly.
space there. Yeah,
exactly. Like so,
he overshot.
That's like what, like 6? That's what, about like 6 feet away from where, like the edge of the ring. So he threw him at least a good 8 feet.
It was super impressive. A lot of things have impressed me in wrestling. I mean, a few. But that is definitely always going to be one up there. Another one is always going to be Cesaro eliminating Big Show in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Always thought that was impressive. Ricochet hopping over like a superhero at the top rope and landing on his feet in front of Velveteen Dream is always going to be up there for me. NXT.
That was
like
so
it's
good.
just so many things that was just always amazing. RKO, Randy Orton still finding ways to do RKOs out of nowhere. It's just amazing to me. Like I don't get it.
Nothing will beat
that.
Nothing will. As great as the Evan Bourne / Matt
Still my favorite
one was. My favorite was yes. I'm sorry. That was the fact that they didn't even practice in Randy. Like you could see the joy in Randy. Like after he put. I can't believe it. Like I can't believe it worked. It was amazing.
He had the same enjoyment with Evan Bourne though too.
I know, but like
that's my favorite. Evan Bourne's my favorite. I can't argue with the Seth Rollins one, but Evan Bourne's my favorite.
I feel like the Matt Sydal, right? I feel like the Matt Sydal one was so great though because it was one of those first ones that we really saw him like crank it out of somewhat like just truly. That's where like the out of nowhere really like. I feel like started really gaining traction because I mean this had started saying that's that correct. By that point, but when he hit that off of and because like that was Sydal's move, like that was his thing, like that was what he was known for in WWE was hitting that amazing shooting star press. So for Orton to just pop up off the ground and work of art, but him taking a curb stomp and just launching Seth Rollins 10 feet in the air just to catch him into the arcade, work of art. That was when it peaked for me.
All right, you two, take it to a different podcast. You're going to have to do a retro one here in a minute.
Well, you know what? The bad news is I do need both of y'all to do one. Well, you're doing SmackDown. What was that date?
We need a new one because it ended up being the Revolution preview.
We'll talk.
All right,
Joker
moving on because
Joker could do NXT with Cap.
Oh, goodness. Okay, look, we're moving. We're moving. We still have a lot of things to cover, and it is getting very late. Wardlow's promo is next. He's the face of the Revolution winner. He came out of the face tunnel entrance. He is still under contract with MJF, but he basically is tired of helping MJF with achieving his dreams. He knows that, or he knew that MJF was a bad guy when he came into this, but we're basically going to have to just forgive him because he used to be a poor man. He's left the Pinnacle, and if MJF is smart, he's going to basically just let him walk away from this. Obviously, I don't see that happening, but since we didn't hear from Max tonight, we will have to revisit this at a later date, I'm sure. But from Wardlow's perspective, he doesn't want to deal with Max at all. Doesn't want to fight him, just wants to move on and win the TNT title and hopefully a new contract, and from there wants to win it all. Joker, real quick, your thoughts on Wardlow and him becoming the new TNT champion, given the ending of this particular episode of Dynamite.
First of all, Victor, that's a great idea. Secondly, this is how you do homegrown talent. Okay? Yes, excellent idea. This is how you do homegrown talent. Because Wardlow, through his story, has created a bond with the crowd. His mic skills have improved considerably since we first saw him, and I'm so excited for him to have this match. Yes, it is now Wardlow's world, and that is so true. The Powerbomb Symphony. I love the nod to him coming out of the face tunnel, looking back like, I like this side. the crowd was fiending for Wardlow to win at Revolution. Okay. Can't argue with you. You were there. But
I mean, mostly you're completely
I'm about to say,
right, but there was a good portion there that wanted Keith Lee to win.
The thing I feel about AEW crowds that I've come to realize is that 9 times out of 10, there is not going to be a singular person that the whole crowd is behind. Like it's been very rare that like the whole crowd is just like, yes, we want this one person to win. But regardless, I feel like it was great. I'm kind of glad that there was no kind of interruptions. It really gave Wardlow his moment to shine that I feel like he's earned. I'm glad he was able to give his speech. It was a very good speech. Set him up for a very positive babyface run, I feel. And him winning the title from whomever.
We'll talk
we'll
about the main
at the end
later, yeah.
But him, facing whoever next week, everything's looking up Wardlow. And I'm so glad that they have stuck it out and just made this decision, and now we get to have the payoff.
I agree. All right, EC, we're going to move on from this particular segment, but touch on your beef this evening. Had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, the tag team champs, versus the Acclaimed for the tag titles. The Acclaimed came out. I mean, obviously, you're right. Everybody did the wave. You still have time. I'm going to recap it here for a second. So the Acclaimed, their rap, they talked about the price of gas. Christian being the only one bringing heat, Jungle Boy being a virgin who's never seen boobs and can't grow pubes, and they're number one like Batman in the box office.
Was there any lie in anything he said? Absolutely nothing.
No,
nothing was a lie.
Look, man, I recap it because it's the truth. The Ass Boys, also known as Gun Club, were at ringside. And I mean, not a whole lot to touch on here. A couple high spots. Luchasaurus always has a nice hot tag. Jungle Boy did a tope suicida. Bowens is super talented. Every time I see him in the ring, I'm always impressed. They had
5-tool player.
Yeah.
It was kind of awkward in the ring to me sometimes.
Mic drop near fall, some sort of combination bomb near fall, but in the end, Doomsday Device and Tail Whip combo for the win. EC, talk to me about your gripe. I know you already talked about Jurassic Express not being your favorite. Talk to me about the Acclaimed.
They're the most entertaining tag team in all of wrestling, outside not named Usos. They're the most entertaining tag team in all of wrestling. It's about time they get the strap put on them. Hey, Ollie Joker hit the nail on the head when we talked about Wardlow earlier. Talking about this is how you build up a tag team, whatever. Great job, because that's what Wardlow's doing, right? They're doing a good job with him. Now, granted, I didn't think he should have turned on MJF though Sunday, but whatever. That's another story. That's soon. I think it should have been built up a little bit better. But it was done very well, and Wardlow is majorly over. Like I said, majority of fans wanted him to win. There were a lot of people there who wanted Keith Lee to win, but everybody was still, regardless, everybody was happy Wardlow won. He's super popular. The Acclaimed are great. The Acclaimed went from a team that came out with everybody looked at it like, who are these clowns? They look like they don't deserve an entrance. Right? And I remember I kept hearing, because I wasn't watching AEW regularly, I kept hearing about this Max Caster guy, his rap sucking and being terrible and stuff like that. And then I watched a few of them. I'm like, oh, I'm laughing my ass off. And I became such an Acclaimed fan. Besides Jade Cargill, the only AEW talent I will actually buy merchandise for is the Acclaimed. They're doing so well. That is your homegrown talent. Jurassic Park is a catchy theme song. If you watch AEW Dynamite or Rampage or Dark Elevation or Show Me the Light, you will see their song comes on and everybody's going, oh, I get absolutely no ass. Oh, I wish my mother just buried me. And it's like terrible. It is so fucking nerds. They're nerds. I can't stand them. I saw them when I was at AEW or Revolution. They were like clowns. So now it's your chance to make it entertaining where it's not just a theme song, because the Acclaimed I saw the maturation of them in the ring. Jurassic Express is pretty much the same thing. They're talented, don't get me wrong. They're talented. But it's always, you said it yourself. Luchasaurus, he always gets a nice hot tag, comes in, blah, 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 until he does some little moves a la Luke Perry. So it's like I'm watching that shit, right? But the Acclaimed are good. So I'm like, finally, let's give them a chance. I don't expect them to have a long run, but let's give them a chance, right? And I was teased because when Aubrey Edwards does a 1, a 2, and then a 3, but they faked like it was a kick out. And I don't know how many people caught it, but I caught it because I saw it a lot of times on AEW Revolution also, where either the referee's hand hit for the 3 at the same time the shoulder was coming up, or they stop before the shoulder comes up. It's super annoying to me. As somebody who's close friends with the referee, I've been watching it and paying attention to it more. Damn you, David. But I see it and it's bothering the fuck out of me, especially when it's going up against my favorite tag team. Your new AEW World Tag Team Champions, the people who should have those ugly-ass belts, should be the Acclaim. Speaking of belts, Dr. Britt Baker, that's a much better improvement over the last 2 bullshits you had.
Yes.
But should be the Acclaim.
All right. Strong words there. And honestly, I agree. I mean, I think homegrown talent should always win out in the end. And I think their day will come. But here is a topic of conversation to make you feel a little bit better. Jade Cargill's promo. Everybody loves the goddess Jade Cargill. And truly, who's next for Jade Cargill? She looked amazing. Black leather ensemble, choker with the, oh my God, just amazing.
Where's Nyla Rose been? That's your next person.
Well, I guess she'll be getting the kiss of death next.
Anybody else wanted to volunteer when she said who's next to that? I wanted to volunteer. Okay, good.
I wanted the forehead kiss. All right, moving on. Layla Hirsch and Thunder Rosa for a women's title qualifier match. San Antonio is obviously the destination.
Anybody ever see the Acclaim do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do that with Jade Cargill.
They got it.
Only not with our fingers. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm screaming. All right. Obviously, next week is Thunder Rosa's hometown. Layla Hirsch is the number 1 contender. Thunder Rosa, even with her loss on Sunday, is the number 2 contender, surprisingly. Thunder Rosa is a vet. Obviously, there was like a top rope readjustment at one point where she was trying to go for a Thunder driver from the top, but didn't quite get it. But Layla wanted to use the big takeaway here is Layla wanted to use the turnbuckle like she did in the buy-in for the pay-per-view. Red Velvet comes out and makes the save. And in the end, Fire Thunder driver for the win. And we will get a steel cage match next week for the women's title. Joker, talk to me about San Antonio. And is this where we see the crowning of a new champion?
I feel like it is. I kind of wish we had just done this at the pay-per-view. It's my biggest gripe with it, honestly. I mean, I'm happy for the moment for Rosa, considering, it's going to be damn, Victor.
Everybody always acts up. Don't talk bad about Jade Cargill in this room. Like, if you want to be cool with us, you can't talk bad about Jade Cargill.
Respect the queen. Yeah, man. I'm happy for Thunder Rosa if this truly is what this means, which I mean, I'm sure it is, because the whole narrative here has been you can't win without your cronies around, which has been pretty much Britt's narrative the entire time, even when she was on her on her golf cart. But yeah, I'm not a fan of these types of matches where you have the pay-per-view match, you have the build, because I feel like it becomes deflated after that. And kind of like how you felt when Rosa won the tag match.
Yeah.
Over Britt. Like, it deflates it. And like, for me, I was like, well, at least if we come to the pay-per-view and they have a great match, I'll let it go. But they had a great match. Then Rosa lost. And now we're going to have another match next week. Because at least if it had been broken up over a couple of weeks or something, maybe I would be a little bit more okay with it. But yeah, me personally, I just don't like this style of right behind each other like this. 1, 2, 3.
Gotcha. Well, transitioning on to Dr. Baker's response promo, essentially questioning why Rosa even got a qualifier match in the first place since she just lost at the pay-per-view.
I agree.
Obviously this is some conspiracy bullshit.
True.
She gets no friends, while obviously Rosa will be the crowd favorite next week. And where is Mercedes Martinez? Obviously Hayter will finish off whatever is left of her on Rampage. And Britt Baker is not scared of Thunder Rosa. She's essentially keeping the Carney riffraff away from her title. You see your chance to talk a little bit about this whole Thunder Rosa Britt Baker title switch situation.
I thought it was going to happen at the pay-per-view for a while, and then I changed it a couple weeks before because I realized that the way they were building it up, it looked like Britt Baker was going to win, because I think a lot of the fanfare that Thunder Rosa had coming in, like last year during the Lights Out match, I think a lot of what Dr. Britt Baker is a shoot. Let's just put it that way. I think Thunder Rosa had a lot of fanfare going into that Lights Out match, and then after they saw Dr. Britt Baker in that match, her response to it, her on the mic, I think it all switched to Dr. Britt Baker, and I think Thunder Rosa is not as over as she was. Not saying she's not over, but I think she's not as over as she was. And I don't think I think the title will take a strong decline if Thunder Rosa wins that championship next Wednesday. Now, granted, I think if they're doing it again, odds are, unless somebody's going to come and feud with Thunder Rosa out of nowhere, that's pretty much is going to happen. And I just think that's a damn shame, because Dr. Britt Baker is a great champion, one of the best champions in AEW history. 3 years, I know, but history. She's doing that title of service, and it's just not time. They don't have it. It's kind of like Roman Reigns in WWE. In my opinion, there's no one strong enough, except for Brock, because I think he's going to do WrestleMania. But there's no one in WWE strong enough to take that world title off of Roman Reigns. That's just my opinion. He's that good and that much over everybody else. In my opinion, in AEW, take out Jade Cargill, Britt Baker is that much over every other woman in AEW by far. That's it. No one else is close. Chris Statlander maybe in a couple more months. And when I mean a couple, I mean 9. After Adam Cole gets her pregnant.
Screaming.
That's how it's going to happen.
Well, I guess it would take, some sort of vacuum to see who were to fill such a spot, but we'll have to see what happens next week. Obviously, we will get the steel cage match.
Don't take credit for that. It doesn't take a genius to see that was the next step. It had to be a stipulation, and that's the most logical one, because she always has 2 cronies next to her. Don't do. See, you're on my shit list right now, Vic, for that damn Jade Cargill comment. So any comment you say that doesn't make sense, I'm calling your ass out on it. See, now you're doubling on my shit list. Okay, you're doubling on the shit list.
Ooh, Victor, you're in trouble.
Yes, you are.
All right. After much fanfare, we finally made it to the main event for the evening. A lot of things that we've covered this evening, a lot of storylines transitioning through the pay-per-view, and a lot of new stuff we've covered. But for this evening, we had Scorpio Sky versus Sammy Guevara for the TNT title. Obviously, Scorpio Sky, fresh as a daisy, coming off of the pay-per-view, having chilled out with his homies in the Skybox.
The entire time. Shout out to dedication.
Hey, man. Yeah, they say for the whole
entire pay-per-view. Now, granted, they were only talking to each other when the lights were flat, spotlight on for the TV, but they were still there. And I usually don't see people do. They'll be there for like a match or two.
Yep.
And then they'll leave. So shout out for dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting match here. We're going to recap real quick. Scorpio into the barricade and the stairs. Table was set up for a 6:30 senton. Obviously going into the commercial break. Sammy crashed and burned on it. Ty Conti came out and Doc Samson. The commercial was spent kind of, seeing if Sammy was okay to continue. Obviously playing up the injury that I think he truly is injured in some capacity based on what he posted about on his vlog.
He needs to be. He's done a lot of crazy shit in the last 2 months.
Yep. So coming back, he was, assisted.
Match in 9 weeks.
Yep. Assisted to his feet, only to return to the ring despite his injuries. Obviously playing it up for the cameras a bit. But very interesting that Paige Van Zandt obviously getting in the mix here. Springboard cutter, slow to pin. He did hit the GTH, but chose not to get the pin there either. Shooting star press from Sammy. Scorpio got the knees up. Paige sends Ty into the steps, and Scorpio hits your TKO and is our new TNT champion. Joker, talk to me about how you think this is going to affect the Wardlow match next week.
Oh, it's genius. You have Scorpio, who is a heel, take out the face, who is Sammy, who is also from Texas. Pit him against Wardlow in Texas, and everybody's already high off of Wardlow. So I feel like they've just a little bit of flavor text to, and I, unfortunately, I definitely see this being a transitional title thing for Scorpio Sky, which is unfortunate because I really do feel like he's a great talent. I know he did get the major shine during the early days when SCU won the first time winning the tag titles, but it's definitely a vehicle for the Wardlow experiment, and I think was the right move. Also, yeah, Sammy deserves some time off because, good Lord, the man has done some insane stuff. Like, we have seen some insane. I mean, just what was at the pay-per-view? He just did a Spanish fly off of the ring entrance onto the ring entrance. Like, that's not soft. And he looked like he was
a table there to cushion his fall.
Ooh, yeah, okay. Going through a table does not feel good. Okay.
No,
I was young.
not.
I was young and stupid once. And I'm still young and stupid. But yeah, Sammy deserves the time off. I could tell he was in pain during the match on Sunday. I thought this was the right move on multiple fronts. But yeah, as far as for the Wardlow thing, I really do feel like it's going to fuel the flames even more, considering that Sammy is a Texas, he's a Texas boy. And so they're going to be in Texas, and they will remember the fact that Scorpio Sky is the one that took out their guy. And so all the more reason for Wardlow to powerbomb the ever-loving hell out of him to win that title.
I agree. EC, this was obviously Scorpio Sky's to lose, given that Sammy was coming off of that crazy match at the pay-per-view. So the outcome on this one wasn't super shocking. However, Paige Van Zandt did finally sign her AEW contract right on the sweet cheeks of Ty Conti. It seems like the two of these ladies are probably going to get into some sort of altercation. What are your thoughts on another member of American Top Team working in AEW?
Nobody cares. I don't care. Glad they're there, whatever. But let's talk about the good thing about this. The good thing about this is Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti getting their ass whooped to close out the show because they deserved it. I mean, if you follow them on Twitter, I don't, but a lot of people I follow them. So I have to see all their little lovey tweets. And so soon after, his relationship broke up, I think it's in poor taste. I'm just looking at it from a personal thing. If that's the way you chose to do it, to dump your fiance, wife, whatever, for this young lady, that's your personal business with them, but now you're flaunting it all over social media, and some people did kind of get invested. Granted, they're low lives because why you get invested in people you don't know's marriage and love life and all that shit. But now I just feel like it's just out there too much and it's annoying to me. So I'm glad to get their ass whooped because you don't. Not only did you do this privately, then you put this on Twitter. Now you put it on TV so soon after. Also, like, give me a freaking break, Toots. Get your ass whooped by Paige. I was happy to see it. I was happy to see them lay down. Tay Conti is a horrible actress. It's just so terrible. Even when she was laying down, it looked like she wanted to be in a 69. I don't know what her problem is, but I'll tell you this. I will tell you this. I will be here every week to see Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara get their ass kicked until they stop flaunting their relationship on my face. Thank God Charlotte and Andrade stopped because they were getting my fucking nerves too. Because I don't follow any wrestlers except for Matt Riddle because we follow each other. I don't follow any wrestlers on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not that type of guy. If you don't follow me, I'm not following you. That's just how it's always been. But unfortunately, especially with Twitter, if you follow people who do follow wrestlers, I got to see the bullshit, right? So fucking annoying. I got to see the bullshit. I don't want to see the bullshit. The only person who could grace my screen anytime because people I follow them, they follow her, and I like it every time because she's Jade Cargill and she's so hot. Fuck you, Vic. She's Jade Cargill and she's so hot. So I have no problem with somebody liking or retweeting her shit, and I'm liking and retweeting her shit. Did you see that Riddler outfit she was wearing?
Bro,
Mortal
the
Kombat?
Jade. I was about to say the Jade outfit.
I was just going to go on a row. Actually, how about this? Did you see that any outfit she was wearing?
The vapors. It's too hot and
I'm
it's
gonna
too
marry
spicy.
her. She's gonna leave that professional baseball player for me.
EC, if you manage to crack the code one day, please let us know. I'll pay you for the secret.
Speaking of crack the code, the Batman sucks. I'm just letting you know that, right? So if you have not watched it on our YouTube channel, UPRE, we reviewed biggest UPRE episode of all time. We reviewed the Batman, and even though I was the only one that said it sucked, it sucked.
Well, EC's word is law, I guess.
It is.
I guess if it sucked, it sucked. Well, everybody, we've covered every nook and cranny of AEW Dynamite this evening. A lot of things, like I said, continuing on from the pay-per-view and a small handful of new storylines that we're going to get to see. So catch us every Wednesday. We'll be recapping and reviewing. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Peace.